What is up, my friends? You're very welcome along to today's Anfield Agenda news roundup. Now, of course, I'll be back tonight at 6:45 to take you through the Reds' Champions League game against PSV Eindhoven, where hopefully we can get some sweet relief from the pain we're all feeling right now watching the Reds. Let's put up all the manager talk, park it aside, and try to just enjoy the game tonight, where hopefully the Reds can get back to winning ways. Over the course of this video, I'm going to take you through some more Antoine Semeno talk. We're going to give you some words from SALAH, and we're going to talk about the centre-back shortlist that the Reds are weighing up ahead of the January transfer window. Sound good? Hopefully it does. Let's get stuck into it. So Mike McGrath has reported that Bournemouth are expecting bids for Antoine Semeno in January, with Liverpool among the suitors. It is understood that his £65 million release clause will drop slightly in the summer, but not below £50 million. Now, it isn't just Liverpool that are looking at Antoine Semeno. Pep Guardiola and Manchester City are very interested, and I'll move on to talk about that in a moment. But let's give you some words from SALAH about, well, where we're currently at. He said, "I should stress that the first half hour of Saturday's game was more in keeping with this standard than perhaps has been recognised. We were the dominant team in that period but did not get our rewards, and while I would be the first to admit that what happened afterwards was not good enough, we should not ignore the elements of our game that were closer to what we should expect. It's a combination of this kind of knowledge that have seen the team previously, if not enough lately, and what we know of the quality of the players in our squad that should give us confidence that improvement will come if we stick together and continue to work as hard as we possibly can." I have to say, I find that a bit of a stretch from the manager. He talks about 30 minutes of a 90-plus minute game, and it wasn't enough ultimately because we didn't even find the breakthrough in that 30 minutes. But I get it. He has to look at positives. He has to try and turn this around. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, hopefully that can start tonight. So, I've got to report something to you because it is important and I'm sure many people want to know it. Paul Doyle, who was charged with 31 serious offences related to the incident at Liverpool's Premier League title parade on the 26th of May, has changed his pleas to guilty on the morning of his trial. The counts Doyle has admitted to include dangerous driving, 9 counts of causing grievous bodily harm with intent, 17 counts of attempting to cause grievous bodily harm, 3 accounts of wounding with intent, and 1 of affray. He will be sentenced at Liverpool Crown Court on the 15th and 16th of December 2025. Now, let's move on to some brighter notes. Mohamed Salah could become only the 4th player to reach 90 European appearances for Liverpool should he play tonight, after Jamie Carragher with 150, Stevie G with 130, and the great Sami Hyypiä with 94. Another record there for Mo, and let's hope it's on the back of a good win for the Reds. Now, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that Pep Guardiola and Manchester City were interested in Antoine Semeno. Well, TalkSport have reported this. City boss Pep Guardiola is concerned about his team's big over-reliance on Norway striker Erling Haaland. He wants the club to consider signing Bournemouth's Antoine Semeno now they know his release clause is £65 million. Manchester City need options who can score goals rather than just be creative. Kind of makes you wonder what they've done with Omar Marmoush. I mean, we all wanted him at Liverpool, or at least many of us would have taken him at Liverpool, and I was certainly one of them. But his goal scoring seems to have pretty much dried up since he's gone to Manchester City, and I wonder, is there a bit of buyer's remorse there, or is it just a case of they can't quite fit him into the way he wants to play? Either way, it's kind of damning for Pep Guardiola with the amount of money they laid out for Omar Marmoush. But look, we can't be really mocking anybody at the minute where we're at. But I do hope that Liverpool make the move ahead of City for Semenyo, because we don't want to be losing out to a rival. Right, let's talk about Gonzalo Inacio, because this piece here from Caught Offside reckon that he is on Liverpool's shortlist as an alternative to Mark Gay. Now, they do give what they believe to be the full Liverpool centre-back shortlist. Let me take you through it. So, the full shortlist, they say, includes Nico Schlotterbeck of Dortmund, Antonio Silva of Benfica, who's a name that we've been speaking about for a few years here on the channel as a really, really quality up-and-coming centre-back. Joel Ordonez, as we've mentioned before, of Club Brugge. Dayot Upamecano of Bayern Munich, although we know that Dayot Upamecano would prefer to either go to Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid, according to various reports from Germany. Alessandro Bastoni, which I'm sure is a name that gets many of you excited, as it does me. Sven Botman of Newcastle, which feels a bit lazy, to be honest about that one. everyone. Sven Botman was linked with Liverpool when he was still in France before he went and joined Newcastle. So I can't see Liverpool knocking on Newcastle's door to try and sign another player anytime soon. And finally, a name that would worry me if he came to Liverpool, and that's Ezri Konsa of Aston Villa. I find him too inconsistent personally, but he is another name on the shortlist. So once again, that's Nico Schlotterbeck, Antonio Silva, Joel Ordonez, Deo Upamecano, Alessandro Bastoni, Sven Botman, and Ezri Konsa. So we still don't seem to be any closer to knowing when exactly Mohamed Salah will have to go and join up with the Egyptian national team ahead of the AFCON. This piece here said Hossam Hassan has decided to start Egypt's AFCON preparation camp on the 1st of December and not the 7th of December. He still wants Salah and Marmoush available for the Nigeria match on the 14th. I've learned, said Ismail Mahmoud, that EFA President Hani Abu Rida is personally in contact with Liverpool and Manchester City. I've also learned, he writes, that both clubs, along with Nantes regarding Mustafa Mohamed, who was in the same situation, for waiting for FIFA's clarification on a final release date for players ahead of the AFCON. This seems like an absolute piss take, to be honest with you. We are here now, 26th of November, and they still don't know if it's a week, 2 weeks, 10 days when the players have to go and be called up. This just adds to the frustration for me as a fan about the AFCON. It's summer tournament, it's winter tournament, they keep chopping and changing it. Now all of a sudden they don't even know when players are going to be called up to go, and we are a couple of weeks away. It really could do a clarification, and soon. So, Bayern Munich Director of Football Max Erbel, speaking a little bit about Florian Wirtz, had this to say: shirt numbers are an important topic for players. However, the number 10 he wanted had already been promised to Jamal Musiala, and we are completely transparent about that as well. I'm sure that's not the reason, Max, that he decided not to go to Bayern Munich and join Liverpool, just because he couldn't get the number 10 shirt number, because he doesn't have that shirt number either. Unless he's talking about positionally, but he does go out of his way there to say shirt numbers. Doesn't have that at Liverpool either, mate. So, it's not really down to the number 10, the reason he turned down Bayern Munich. But of course, he does have an iconic number at Liverpool Football Club. So, that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen, for now. But I do want to know your thoughts on the race for Antoine Semeno, now that Manchester City seem to be in. The list of centre-back, short list that we've gone through. Who would be your preference? Let me guess. It's probably Alessandro Bastoni, right? If it isn't Mark Gay, which certainly would be mine. A couple of names on that list that I wouldn't really be open to myself, if I'm being honest. The likes of Sven Botman I don't find realistic. Ezri Konsa doesn't really excite me. So there are a few names there I'd be happy with, and a few that I wouldn't. On top of that, want to know your thoughts on Mohamed Salah hitting 90 games for the Reds in European football, which is another tremendous accomplishment for Mo. And of course, we will be back here tonight at 6:45 to take you through the game. Whatever match reaction, our player ratings video. A reminder, if you would like to submit your player ratings, do make sure you're signed up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. Just scan that QR code there on the screen now, and that will take you in, and you will see a link in there after the game to upload your player ratings. We'll also put in lots of transfer news as well, heading to January, and other bits and pieces that we think should keep you right up to date with where we're at with Liverpool Football Club. So, ladies and gents, fingers crossed for a good performance in the win tonight. Look forward to catching up with you all later. Have a wonderful evening. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.